Hello and welcome to Film Britain, a discussion show which focuses on the rapidly changing British film industry. Each week we'll be speaking to experts and debate the major issues facing the industry today. In this first episode tonight, we'll be discussing how the cinematic experience is evolving and what this means for the future of cinema. What do we mean when we talk about the cinematic experience in the 21st century? The traditional view of red plush seats and warm popcorn is being challenged. Today, there's a whole range of ways you can access films. The recent surge in pop-up cinemas is creating a new type of experience, with participants encouraged to dress up, socialise with audience members, and interact with films in a way traditional cinema has never offered. The online revolution has had a huge impact. Recent figures have seen the number of illegally downloaded films go up by nearly 30% in the past 5 years, reportedly costing the industry £170 million every year, while cinema attendance in the UK has risen by just 7%. The advent of 3D technology has had an equally important impact, bringing spectacle and curiosity back to the theatre. Whether this new technology has a place in the future of cinema still seems uncertain. Joining me here in the studio, we have a British actor with over 30 years' experience, starring in major films such as Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels and Kick-Ass. He's now making his directorial debut with the hotly anticipated Wild Bill. He's Dexter Fletcher. Hi.
Hello.
I'm also pleased to welcome our second guest from one of Britain's most well-known entertainment families and founder of an exciting pop-up cinema in London, the Rooftop Film Club, Gerry Cottle Jr.
Hello.
Gerry, great to see you. And first of all, we want to talk about these pop-up cinemas and the film clubs. How do you think these have become so successful?
I think what sparked sort of, the pop-up cinema and the popularity is the fact that people want more. And what you're getting when you come to a pop-up cinema, you're getting more of an experience. And it is the 21st century buzzword. And the reason for that is that, the recipe's quite simple. You're getting a great film, which already know about, which you love and enjoy and, have seen many times. You're getting a great location. Of course, that's creating a great experience.
But is it a risky business venture? Because I can imagine getting the word out and so on. It seems to have almost this underground feel about it.
I think it's for all ages. There's a lot of nostalgia involved with these films, whether it's my parents' generation or our generation. We're showing a broad range of films, and it seems to be appealing to everyone. And it's doing very well. There's a lot.
I think also, no matter what level you make a film at as well, it's always a risky business adventure. There's no definite formula for making a successful film anyway. And so I think things like the pop-up, of course, there's risks, but even making a film is a risky business.
But it seems to me to be quite a niche business, though.
I don't think so. We're expanding this year. It's more happening. There's lots of people doing it. It's very popular. In London especially. It's sort of it's in the top 5 of sort of most popular websites in London. So it shows itself that it's becoming more and more popular. Not really.
Well,
niche,
talking about becoming more popular, of course, there's a lot of different things coming along the line. For example, 3D, which is obviously massive with the various films going on. I mean, how do you see 3D? I mean, for example, how can 3D and Rooftop work together?
Well, the thing is, 3D historically, it's it's a passing phase, but I think it's a bit different now with the advent of TVs, and I think soon it's going to become standard that laptops and TVs will become 3D. So that's interesting to see what happens. But for the Rooftop, it's not. It's the screen. It's about the whole engagement of the film. It's the location that makes, as well as the film itself, the whole thing. So I'm not that worried about 3D.
So is it going to be?
And plus the films are not in 3D that I show.
Do you see it as being a passing fad? I mean, Dexter, making a film. Do you fancy making one in 3D?
Yeah, I do. I've worked on 3D films, and I think it's the cinema going experience. You have to cover as many different audiences as you possibly can, and maybe the pop-up audience is different from the 3D audience, but it just means that there's wider audiences for it.
Well, as you say, there's a lot of different experiences that people actually have now with cinema, whether they go to Rooftop, 3D, or so on and so forth. So what we decided to do, we actually took to the streets. We had a chat with people on the street to find out what their kind of cinematic experience was. And we got some very interesting responses as well. So what we'd like to do is to show you a little bit about what they said on the streets with the with all of that. So we'll come to that.
Probably download or rent DVDs or watch them on TV more than go to the cinema.
My girlfriend does love film, and we watch some films at home, but to get the proper feeling, you want to be in the seat.
No, I don't. Well, I don't download movies, but what I do is go for BBC iPlayer, and they've got a lot of the kind of movies that they play on the BBC.
I go to the cinema for the old-fashioned buzz and experience of the excitement you get when the music starts and the film credits roll. You just don't get that from a DVD.
guys, looking at the different experiences people are having there, one of the things they were talking about was downloading. And obviously piracy is an issue nowadays, isn't it? I mean, do you think the industry is doing enough to deal with that? You've got the music industry doing a lot. What about the film industry?
Well, there's a belief that 3D is the studio's big push to stop piracy, and I think that may be in some way going towards achieving that. But I think, like a lot of people said in your Vox Pops there, that they do like the cinema-going experience, and I think there will always be a broad section of people who will want to go and have that experience. It's about escapism, and it's about going out of your home, going out for a night with friends and family or loved ones, whatever, and going to the theatre and watching a film on the big screen, which is always far different experience from watching it at home on your television.
But it's interesting, some people were seeing it as the old-fashioned experience, which is a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with that, the old-fashioned experience. That's good, you know, it's an experience, and there's new versions of that old-fashioned experience as well. You know, that's what a pop-up is. It's a new take on
watching film.
Let's talk about pop-up and the future of cinema, where we see things going. Joe, how do you see the future of pop-up in the industry generally?
I think there's space for all of it, to be honest. You know, I think technology is going to take us one way, and there's possibly sort of the extras of like 4D and possibly 5D. There's 5D rides now. There'll be people who wanted to do that, but a lot of people that'll be too much of like a Disneyland sort of experience. And then there'll be people who just want to watch a great film, you know, in a nice cinema. And then of course there'll be pop-up where they'll go for that different experience of seeing it in a special place or a different place with added content like guest speakers and things like that. So I think there really is, there's a future for all of it.
So you see that evolving even more in the future?
Yeah, I think it all can evolve, yeah.
And 5D, how long before we have to wait for that?
Oh God, I don't know. Ask James Cameron, I don't know.
Now, actually, we were talking about him and piracy, how he was doing that. But sadly, I'd love to talk about that more, but sadly, we are actually out of time. But thank you so much, dear gentlemen, for joining us. And sadly, yes, it is already time to move on. But do make sure that you watch Dexter's new film, Wild Bill. That's going to be released on the 30th of March. And Gerry, I'm guessing we're going to see you on the rooftop somewhere.
Indeed.
In the meantime, next week, we'll be talking to Danny Boyle and Kerry Mulligan, asking what they think makes a British film. Does it depend on the actors, the location, or the funding? Don't forget, you can continue the discussion online on our Twitter and Facebook pages. In the meantime, thank you so much indeed for watching. Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.
And wish you a very good night.
Yes, it's amazing.